You believe your thoughts are your own, don't you? That the beliefs you hold, the truths you accept, the very way you see the world, are products of your independent mind, your rational choices. But what if I told you that you're enmeshed in a vast, invisible network of power that subtly yet relentlessly shapes your every thought, your deepest convictions, even your sense of self? What if the freedom you cherish is, in many ways, an elaborate illusion, maintained by chains you cannot even see? Welcome to the unsettling world of Michel Foucault, a philosopher who dedicated his life to unmasking the hidden mechanisms of control that operate beneath the surface of our everyday lives. He dared to suggest that what we call truth is not some objective reality waiting to be discovered, but a carefully constructed product of power. And that power isn't just held by governments or tyrants, it's everywhere, woven into the very fabric of our society, our institutions, our language, and even our own minds. This isn't about overt oppression. This is about something far more insidious, a power that dictates what is normal, what is sane, what is true, often without us ever realizing we're being guided. So, are you ready to pull back the curtain? Are you prepared to confront the possibility that the invisible chains of societal narratives and power structures are influencing you far more than you imagine? Because understanding Foucault's concept of power knowledge might not only change how you see the world, but also how you see yourself. This is the journey into how society secretly dictates your every thought. Michel Foucault wasn't interested in power as a simple top-down force, like a king commanding his subjects. He saw power as a complex, productive network that circulates throughout society. And crucially, he argued that power and knowledge are inseparable, two sides of the same coin. He called this power knowledge. It's not that power uses knowledge, or knowledge gives you power in a simplistic sense. Rather, systems of power produce particular kinds of knowledge, and this knowledge, in turn, validates and reinforces those systems of power. What gets to count as truth or fact in any given era is determined by these power knowledge dynamics. Think about how knowledge is created and legitimized. It happens through institutions, universities, hospitals, courts, scientific bodies. These institutions don't just discover neutral facts, they operate within specific discourses. A discourse, for Foucault, is more than just language. It's a system of meaning, a framework of understanding that shapes how we talk about, think about, and act upon a particular subject, be it medicine, law, sexuality, or madness. These discourses define what is considered normal and abnormal, sane and insane, legitimate and illegitimate. They create categories, classifications, and experts, who then wield authority based on this specialized knowledge. For example, the medical discourse defines what constitutes health and illness, and who has the authority to diagnose and treat. The legal discourse defines crime and justice. These aren't necessarily objective truths handed down from on high. They are historically specific systems of knowledge that have emerged from, and are maintained by, particular configurations of power. And once these discourses are established, they become incredibly difficult to challenge from the outside because they define the very terms of the debate. They set the rules for what counts as a valid statement. Foucault also showed how power operates through discipline. This isn't just about punishment. It's about creating docile bodies, individuals who self-regulate, who conform to societal norms without needing overt coercion. Think of the school, the factory, the military, even the office. These spaces are often designed to maximize surveillance and encourage self-discipline. Foucault famously used Jeremy Bentham's idea of the panopticon, a prison design where a central tower allows a single guard to observe all inmates who can't tell if they're being watched at any given moment. The result? The inmates begin to police their own behavior, internalizing the gaze of power. Does this sound familiar? In our modern world, this panoptic gaze is amplified. CCTV cameras, social media scrutiny, data collection. We live in an era of unprecedented surveillance. We curate our online personas, watch what we say, modify our behavior, often because of the presumed judgment of others, the internalized societal I. This constant, subtle pressure to conform, to be normal, is a powerful form of social control, one that operates not through force, but through our own willingness to discipline ourselves according to the knowledge of what is acceptable. This is how society dictates your thoughts, by establishing regimes of truth. Each society, Foucault argued, has its own general politics of truth, its own accepted discourses, its own ways of distinguishing true statements from false ones. This truth isn't absolute. It's a product of power, and it serves to maintain existing power structures. The media you consume, the education you receive, the expert opinions you trust, they all contribute to shaping this regime of truth, often reinforcing dominant ideologies and marginalizing alternative perspectives. The invisible chains are forged from these accepted narratives, these unquestioned assumptions that define the boundaries of your reality. So, if power is this diffuse, this embedded in the very way we know the world, is resistance even possible? Are we simply puppets dancing on the strings of discourse and discipline? Foucault's answer is complex, but not entirely pessimistic. He famously stated, "Where there is power, there is resistance." Because power relations are not static, they are constantly being negotiated, challenged, and potentially transformed. Resistance, for Foucault, doesn't mean finding some utopian space outside of power, because power is everywhere. Instead, it means engaging in critical thought, questioning the truths we are presented with, and identifying how power operates in specific contexts. It means creating counter-discourses, new ways of speaking, thinking, and knowing that challenge dominant narratives. It involves local struggles, specific points where power is being exercised and can be contested. True freedom, in a Foucauldian sense, might not be an escape from power altogether, but the ongoing practice of critically examining and actively shaping the power relations that define our lives. It's about increasing our awareness of those invisible chains so we can begin to test their strength, find their weak points, and perhaps create a little more room to think and act differently. The first step is to recognize that your thoughts, your truths, might not be as uniquely your own as you believe. They are, in large part, a product of the society, the era, the discourses you inhabit. This realization isn't meant to induce paranoia, but to empower you with a critical tool. Start questioning. Who benefits from this particular truth? What power relations does it uphold? What voices or perspectives are being silenced or marginalized by it? What do you think? Can you identify these invisible chains of power knowledge in your own life or in society today? What truths have you started to question? Share your experiences and reflections in the comments below. This is a space for critical dialogue, If this journey into Foucault's ideas has made you see power and truth in a new light, please give this video a like, subscribe to One Pixel Soul for more challenging philosophy, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future explorations. Next time, we're stripping away even more layers of societal expectation. We'll delve into the life and ideas of a philosopher who lived in a barrel, rejected all conventions, and sought freedom through radical, unapologetic shamelessness. What can ancient cynicism teach us about living authentically today? You won't want to miss it. Thank you for joining the interrogation of truth. Keep questioning, keep resisting, and strive to see the unseen. See you in the next one.